Hello friends, welcome back to Learning with Miss G. I'm so happy to see you again today. So today, it's really cold outside. I mean really cold. And when it gets to be cold, I think about some of my fun cold weather animal stories. So today I'm going to read you one of those stories. It's called, Are You a Polar Bear? If you enjoy Storytime with Miss G, just like this video and subscribe to my channel so you'll never miss a fun story right here in Learning with Miss G. Let's get started. A polar bear cub who had been sleeping peacefully in his quiet den woke from his long nap and let out a big yawn. Oh! Bears sleep for a very long time. The cub dug out from his den that was packed tight with snow. It was very quiet. No one was around. Where's my mom? Where's everyone? The cub sat outside his home and thought. He tried to remember what his mommy looked like. Well, what do I look like? He tried to recall. Though he had forgotten what his mother looked like, he set out to find her. I must be brave, he said, looking back at his den. He's such a little cub to set off all by himself to find his mommy. I think he is brave. He walked into a forest with snow-covered trees. On an old branch high above, the cub saw someone sleeping. Are you a polar bear? He asked. Young cub, I'm not a polar bear. I'm a snowy owl. The owl lifted his wing and replied, You see, I have feathers, not fur. So the cub thought maybe the owl was a polar bear, but the owl said, I only have feathers, not fur. The cub moved through the forest searching for his mother. He saw a white, fluffy tail wiggling on the furry bottom inside a log. Are you a polar bear? He asked. The fluffy tail turned around and popped out of the log. I'm not a polar bear. I'm an Arctic hare. I have much bigger ears than you, the hare replied. Outside of the forest, the cub saw someone sitting on a rock with fur and a small nose. Are you a polar bear? He asked. Little one, I'm an Arctic fox. You are clever, but I have a much larger tail, and you will grow up to be much bigger than me, the fox replied. Wow, so the hare is not a polar bear? The fox is not a polar bear? What is our little cub going to do? The cub walked on until he saw someone sitting on an icy ridge above him. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No. I'm an Arctic wolf. Your paws will grow to be much bigger than mine, but you are very brave for asking, replied the wolf. The cub moved down the ridge and onto the snowy field. Someone was chewing on a frosty bush. Are you a polar bear? He asked. The animal chewed loudly. I'm a reindeer. I have big antlers, and I don't think you eat plants, the reindeer replied. So, the wolf is not a polar bear, and the reindeer is not a polar bear. That little cub is still looking for his mommy. The cub continued to walk until he came to a hole in the ice. A big spiraling horn moved up and down. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No, I'm not. I'm a narwhal. I have a long tusk, and I don't walk on land, replied the narwhal. Boy, that is a long tusk coming right out of his head. So the cub walked on until he met a very large someone lying on a mound of ice. He carefully walked forward. Are you a polar bear? He asked. No, I'm a walrus. I'm much larger than you and have very big tusks. Go home, little cubs belong with their mothers, said the walrus. So the narwhal with the long tusk and the walrus with the long tusk, neither of them are polar bears. So the little polar bear has to keep looking for his mommy. I can't go home until I find my mother, he said. He was very sad and scared because he didn't know how he was going to find her, and it was getting dark. The harsh wind blew, and the snow whipped at his fur. The cub couldn't see anything. With a loud crack, the ice around the cub broke. He held on tight as the storm pushed him out to sea. "Help! Help!" cried the little polar bear. The wind soon stopped and the waves calmed. The tired cub looked around. He saw a shape floating nearby. It was large, white, had fur, small ears, and a tail. It didn't have horns or tusks. "Are you a polar bear?" he asked. "Are you my mother?" What do you think, guys? Do you think that's his mommy? Kind of looks like him, doesn't she? "I am a polar bear. I am your mother," his mom replied. "Little cub, you are very special. There is no one out there quite like you." "I know," he replied, and he snuggled in closer to his polar bear mommy. And that's the end of Are You a Polar Bear? So the little polar bear finally found his mommy. I'm so glad he did. I hope you enjoyed that story. I enjoyed reading it to you. If you want more stories with Miss G, go ahead and like this video, subscribe. I have some fun stuff that's about to come out soon. All right, my friends, let's sing our goodbye song. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Wave your hand. Did you wave? Wink your eye. Did you wink? It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. I'll see you next time right here on Learning with Miss G.